You're listening to Life Improvement Media on the Helium Radio Network.
Well, come on in. It's story time.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of It's Story Time. I'm your host, Chime Bear. Come on in and take a seat. These stories are guaranteed to help you think, relax, and calm down. And who knows, you may learn something along the way. And best of all, you get to participate in these stories by filling in the blanks. Unless noted otherwise, these stories are fictitious. If you like these kinds of stories and these type of podcasts, feel free to subscribe to me wherever podcasts are heard. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker. You can also subscribe to me on YouTube. Just look for Chime Bear and It's Story Chime in the videos. So, let's get into today's story. Today's story is titled
Come Home Café.
Well, howdy, neighbor. What brings you up this side of town on this snowy day? You're lost. Well, that seems to be how most people are when they find this place. Where are you? You're at the Come Home Café on Prodigal Lane. Who am I? My name is David, but my friends all call me Jack. This here's my place. Yep, I can't work full day like I used to, so I just pop in whenever I can, work a while, which is why I'm here today. Yeah, why don't you come on in and look around and get warmed up? No use standing out here in the snow. Yeah, we'll get you a meal. You don't have much money. Well, don't worry about that. We'll see what we can work out with you. I'm serious. Come on in. Yep, this here actually is my daddy's place. He opened this many years ago, and you might say I inherited it from him. And I enjoy coming here when I can. Not as young as I used to be, though, so I just come in and work a few shifts once a week. Well, now, busy this afternoon. Howdy, Rachel. How are things in the kitchen? Bad as out here, huh? Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you take this customer and take him over to table 5. You can wait on him yourself. Yeah. And I'll get this coffee pot and I'll walk over here. Oh, what do we have over here? Table 1. Well, howdy, Sheriff. Hi, Jack. What do you got with you today? Yeah, this is another prisoner that just got released this morning. Really? Yeah, I think we'll... Okay, well, we'll all take coffee today. All right, what do you all want today? Just so happens I have the coffee pot here. Yep, hang on, I'll pour it for you. Hey, Sheriff. I might as well drink this cup of coffee with you, and then I'll be going home. These years I spent in prison, so too much time. I'm glad I'm on the straight and narrow now. But all I got to do now is find me a job. And I don't know where to go for that. Excuse me, son. I couldn't help but hearing what you were saying there. You're looking for a job, huh? First of all, what is your name, son? My name is Charlie McDonough. Charlie McDonough. Are you by any chance related to Julia McDonough? Aye, sir, that's me wife. What do you know about her? Well, she actually works here part-time now. And she told me that today you might be being released. So, I'd like to help if I may. I may be able to help you all through a bit. Well, Jack, I think this is it for the coffee today. Why don't you go ahead and get our check, please? And we'll take it from there. Right you are, Sheriff. We'll get your check. Listen, son. If I were you, I'd take Jack up on his offer for a job. He's one of our town fixtures, and he doesn't take no punches. And from what I know about you in the prison kitchen, you would work out excellent here. And yes, I've seen your wife here. She's actually working pretty hard. She likes to clean up the place. But you know what? I'd be a fool not to take Jack up on it. I've known him and his family for many years. And what Jack says, goes. His word is as solid as gold. So if I were you, I'd take him up on it. Well, I guess I'll have to ask him what the job is. All right, Sheriff. Here's your check. Son, or should I say Charlie? I couldn't help but overhear your question as I came up. The job... I need help in the kitchen, actually. My head cook, as you can tell out here, we're pretty swamped. Sometimes the waitresses have to kind of jump in there and help them. So we could use an extra hands at cooking if you're good at it. And I'll tell you what. If you're interested, let me know. Well, you can go home to your wife, talk to her about it. And if you're interested, you can start either tomorrow morning or the next day. There is one thing, though. Being I have two Charlies in the kitchen, I'm going to give you another name. I'll call you Mac. We got Mac and Jack. And also, I'll be able to tell which one I'm talking to. Yeah? I don't know about taking handouts, older man. But if she's working here part-time, I don't know. Hey, sir. Well, I guess I'll take it. But I have to go talk to my wife. And I like the name Mac. That's what they called me in the prison kitchens. And yes, I seem to have a steady hand at cooking. But, will my past be held against me? That's what I would like to know. Son, like I said before, what Jack says is gold. And your past has nothing against you here. I've actually had to refer quite a few of his employees to other places because they know, and I know, that Jack's pretty solid and trustworthy. So, I know I'm speaking for him, but I can tell you after working with him and his family for many years. So you'll be fine here. Yeah, I guess I don't need to talk to my wife. I'll take it.
Table 5, order turkey sandwich and latte ready. Table 8, a burger and a special ready.
Okay, hello folks. Got your order here. Let's see, we got a burger and a special. As the French always say, what's that word? Oh yeah, bon appetit. And yes, you're right, something is up. I think our relationship is over. I have a family and a wife. I was wrong to let myself get distracted. I love my wife and my kids. And I have to choose them. Because God gave them to me. I know. But this relationship was all wrong from the start. I don't think so. I don't think... You know, if you could be friends with my wife, I don't mind. But the thing is, I'm trying to keep myself from being tempted again. So we're gonna have to cut this off. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go. Hey, Bruce, wait up! You forgot your wallet. Oh. Thanks, Jack. I guess in my rush to get out of there, I must have dropped it. Thanks for coming after me. You know, son, I couldn't help but overhear your little conversation. But I'm proud of you, son. You are doing what God wants you to do, and that's be with your family. So you go home and you love that wife of yours. And here's some coupons. You guys can bring your family anytime.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention? This is your mayor, Frank Weatherby. I've just been notified by the National Weather Service that there's a severe blizzard on the way. They tell me it should be here within a half hour to an hour. So all ye pedestrians, get your butts on home. And all ye businesses, close up shop. Now, if you'll excuse me, I better do what I just said for you to do.
Well, now, I guess I better get back to the shop and close up like the mayor said. Like I said, Bruce, I'm proud of you. You go home and love that wife. That girl wasn't the right one for you. Well, like I said before, Jeff, thanks. And you were praying for me, I could tell. Thank you for that. And yeah, I guess I better get going, too. Thanks again, Jack. Hey folks, I hate to break up the party in here, but I don't know if you heard the mayor's announcement. I'm closing up the shop, so y'all get on out now and y'all come back when the blizzard's over. Alright, everything's all put up. Hello? Who's that over there? Well, hello, howdy, Homer. Didn't know you were in here today. Well, is your daughter the one you've been talking about that ran away? Yes, sir, that's my daughter. She's at home now. Caroline, I want you to meet the finest man this side of Dodge. This here's Jack. Hiya, Jack. Daddy's been telling me that you may be able to help me. I'm trying to find a way to get off of this here addiction. It's why I ran away, to see if I could get my fix, but I don't know where to go from here. Well, Caroline, your daddy's right. I do know someone. Tomorrow, I want you to go to 302 Overcomer Street. Tell him Jack sent you. And I also want you to report to Sheriff Hadley. He may be able to also help you. You two better get on out now, because I gotta close up this shop. We got a blizzard coming in. Well, I didn't know you were still here. Looking around, huh? Well, I hate... What are these? These are figures, and... Yep. Each one of these figures tells a story. That's what these pamphlets are around the neck there. This frame over here? Why don't you come on over and take a look? This here's the basis, or what this cafe is based on. Yeah, go ahead and push the button. Take a listen. Jesus continued. There was a man. Jesus continued, there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, How many of my father's hired men have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired men. So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, Quick! Bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. Well, did you enjoy that? Oh, they're gone. What's this? Note. Dear Jack, thank you for your hospitality. I couldn't stick around to tell my story because that last story made me realize that I needed to go home. Well, it seems to be the norm on a lot of people. Well, might as well get locked up. I don't know, I'll turn on the radio. I was pouring coffee for table number 1. Couldn't help but hearing what was going on. It got my attention when I heard a young man's voice. He said, Sheriff, I'll be going now, if it's all right with you boys. Those years I spent in prison, so too much time for me. I won't waste another minute. If I'm really free, I'm going home. My family's waiting for me, I'm going home. I'm amazed that they still love me. They forgive me for the bitter seeds I've sown. Heaven knows I've been away too long. Now I'm going home. A burger and a special for table number 8. I was bussing number 7 when I heard her young heart break. He told her it was over, they could never meet again. And he found a taste of courage twisted on his wedding band. Her tears began to fall, but they could not touch his heart. He told her that I'm sorry, it was all wrong from the start. I'm going home. My family's waiting for me, I'm going home. I'm amazed that they still love me. They forgive me for the bitter seeds I've sown. Heaven knows I've been away too long, and now I'm going home. There's a million other stories from the halfway home cafe. It's a never-ending saga, and it plays out every day. This one's finally over, the food's all put away, and the coffee pot stands empty at the halfway home cafe. Over in the corner, at table number 3, sits a father and a runaway. Well, it looks that way to me. I said, I hate to interrupt you, but it's really getting late. The young girl looked up smiling. She said, Mister, that's okay, I'm going home. My family's waiting for me, I'm going home. I'm amazed that they still love me. They forgive me for the bitter seeds I've sown. Heaven knows I've been away too long. Now I'm going home. I'm going home. Hello everyone, Chime Bear here. I wanted to talk to you about today's story and the stories that were inside there. All of the stories have the same theme. And that is the choices that we make. And what happens when you make the right choice. In all four stories, all four characters made, at first, the wrong choices. One committed a crime, one cheated on his wife, one was a runaway. Actually, the last two, and yeah, the third one was a runaway. And the fourth one, well, he wanted to be out from under his father's wing. Needless to say, all four of those choices were, in a way, rebellious choices. And when they have been through enough circumstances to make them come to their senses, they made the right choice, and that was to go home and be where God wanted them to be. The other side of a coin, when we welcome back these prodigals, or people, most people will continually rub in that person's mistakes. And that's the worst thing you can do. In the fourth story, which is the parable of the prodigal son, Jesus demonstrates how we are to welcome these people back. When the prodigal son returned home, his father did not hold his past mistakes against him because he knew that his son had learned. And also, he was happy to have him home. It says, "My son was dead, but now is alive." And that's the kind of welcome we need to give these people. If you continually rub in or hold their past mistakes against them, it's going to cause bitterness towards you and also makes them feel guilty all over again. When God forgives you, He puts the sins into the sea of forgetfulness, as far from the east as from the west. And that is the same attitude that we should have, not just in welcome and prodigal home, but whenever anyone asks us for forgiveness, we don't hold it against them. Yes, trust. Well, that about wraps it up for this edition of Story Time. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you like these type of stories, well, that about wraps it up for this edition of Story Time. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you like these type of stories, feel free to check more out at wherever podcasts are heard. You can also check them out here on the Helium Radio Network. I'm always open to suggestions and your comments. You can comment on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also text them to me at 208-577-1195. Well, that about wraps it up for this edition of It's Story Time. If you Good night.